stuff like that. And I think that makes a big difference when it comes to fighters like Julio. I think he needs stuff like that.
Y como tú, por ejemplo, yo entrené en altura, pero la vez pasada, tú te bajas de la altura 5 días antes. Y mi manager y el entrenador me bajaron 14 días antes de la altura. No boxeé 14 días para la pelea. Tú no hubieras permitido que me bajaran con eso para hacer. Tú no hubieras permitido ese tipo de detalles, son muy importantes para la pelea.
Little details that are very important. He says, he would train in high altitude, but getting down to the from the altitude 14 days before the fight. To do exams and all this and that. I think we should have never left. 14 days early. We would have never allowed it. When you're training high altitude, you're taking advantage of high altitude, and not come down to do medicals and this and that, and not go back. There were so many things that he wasn't pleased with.
If you were training him, for that fight, with his comeback, would you have picked a guy like Bonfaro? Because that seemed like a very difficult fight for any guy to come back to.
Look, by then, if that would have been my job, I would have studied, the opponent a little more before we made a decision, and I think I would have said no. Of course, I would have said no. That's what I already talked to Julio. Julio already proved that he'll fight anybody by moving up 2 weight divisions and fighting somebody like Bonfaro. It was just show you that he doesn't care who he fights. But I told him, okay, you already showed that. Now let me make some decisions, and we already talked about it. And he agrees. We need 3, 4 fights where we get good opponents. We're not gonna go get cab drivers, but good, decent opponents that make us look better, and then we got time. Then look for the big fights. 4 fights from now. Then go look for something big.
So 2012, he fight Martinez, only fought 3 times in 3 years. He's good for a fighter. And in my prime, when he fought, and he beat Civic, Mafredo, Lee, Rubio, and he fought Martinez in 14, 15 months. Eso es lo que ya estaba acostumbrado a hacer.
He was used to fighting often, and that's what a fighter needs to do. A lot of things that I'm reminding him and trying to get him to understand is, especially with examples like his dad. His dad used to get the big fight, big championship fight, but then go back and get 2 or 3 fights in between that were comfortable. Why not? It's like, why wait a year or 8 months for your next fight? Why can't you do 2 in between, 2 or 3 in between?
So how many fights do you want him to have against this level of opposition before you?
I want at least 3 to 4. I want 3 to 4. I want 3 to 4 fights before we even, there's a lot of big fights, a lot of big names out there. There's huge fights, but they're still going to be there a year from now, 2 years from now.
What took you guys so long to hook up? Because you guys have talked. I know Julio's talked about working with you, and you've been interested in working with him for at least 2 years, like 3 years.
Look, it's been a while,
But they have 2 years, no fights.
It's
that's
been,
right.
Actually, the first time we talked about it, he was fighting on the undercard of was it Cotto Pacquiao? I think it was Cotto Pacquiao. It was Julio, fue en la de Cotto Pacquiao que tú peleaste en la cartelera, ¿verdad? Que estabas queriendo hacer peso y me preguntaste. Yeah, it was the Cotto Pacquiao fight. That's the first time he approached me and told me. But on and off, whatever it was, I believe things happen for a reason.
Yo creo que el estilo de él con el estilo mío se acoplan. Hay detalles que me hacen falta a mí en mi estilo que él me los puede aportar. Entonces eso es muy importante, porque los dos venimos de donde mismo. No me va a quitar mi estilo, nada más va a perfeccionar cosas que he fallado.
My style as a trainer, his style as fighter, I think we make a good connection. Just add new things to my style, little things that we're working on that are only going to get me better. That's why I think we make a really good connection.
The other thing that I think is important that people have to understand also is that he was off. He didn't fight for a long time, and during that time he also had a legal case going on, and regardless of whether he's the one litigating it, it's on his mind. Whether he's going to fight, when he's going to fight, when it's going to be over. And those are things that when you combine all these things together, you know, it affects a fighter.
And you know, I need to live for my daughter. You know, I don't wait in the seat and for a fight. You know, I have that legal problem.
Has there been one major thing that stuck out to you saw you doing wrong in training that you said right away, I can fix that?
Oh, there's a lot of things, you know, not in training right now, because he's actually following instructions and doing what he's told. You know, he's doing really good in training. But in the fights, you know, fights that we've seen that, you know, that are things that, you know, I had already told him. I had told his dad, you know, and his dad agreed. You know, he needs to do this, you know, a little bit more sideways, you know, use that left, you know, a little more, you know, things that they've already agreed, you know, and now with me, he's doing everything he's told.
Yo me entrenaba solo desde siempre. Ahora tengo alguien que me guíe.
I always train myself.
I was training myself.
Now I have somebody that's guiding me.
Why were you training yourself when you had?
Porque pues no había nadie que me diera una estrategia. O sea, yo terminé así por todo, por muchas de mis peleas, con Andy Lee, con Peter Mafredo. Faye Rose tuvo cosas que hacer y no me entrenó y nunca dijeron eso.
There was only you know, those fights, you know, where I pretty much trained myself. I did all the strategy by myself. You know, Faye Rose would show up to the fight, and you know, nobody ever mentioned that. But that's reality.
How do you feel about fighting at 168?
I think it's my weight. You know, I fought Brian Vera. I think he's a 160 guy. You know, I never fought a 168 guy, a real 168. But I feel better. You know, I'm 29 now. My body is a little bigger. But I feel 168 in my weight.
Do you think it was a mistake now, looking back on the Favara fight, to take that fight after the long layoff in a higher weight? Fue un error.
Error pelearlo después de estar
Dile
fuera.
que no, porque el boxeo me ha dado más. Dile que una derrota, No, because, you know, when you lose, you learn sometimes more than when you win. You know, nothing happened, you know. It's not my way.
After that fight, you know, a lot of fans were very upset, and they were throwing like tricks in the ring and yelling at you. Did that hurt your feelings, or did that affect you at all?
No, man. When I started fighting, cuando empecé a pelear siempre me he criticado.
When he started fighting,
nunca han querido en mí, le he ido poco a poco.
He's heard criticism his whole career. When he fights, people say things, so it's something that he's
También muchos vasos le tiraron a los polacos y le por haberme ganado.
Yeah, they were upset with the Polish people also because they beat him.
Wasn't there a fight he had? I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head in Mexico where they didn't like whatever the decision was. I don't remember what it was, and there was almost like a riot. Like it was almost like a riot.
¿Te acuerdas de una pelea que hubo en México que la gente se enojó por la decisión y que hubo casi?
Mad Banda.
Yeah.
Because peleé con 39 de calentura.
He had a fever.
Que estaba a 40 grados. Pero le gané los primeros 6-7 rounds. Lo que pasa es que los últimos 3 rounds no me acuerdo yo de lo que pasó.
He said he won the first 6 rounds and then the
6-7 rounds and the 3 rounds.
I don't remember.
So remember he had a real sore throat, like when he spoke in the post-fight interview.
And a fever.
No puede hacer entrevista. Me llegaron cargando al hospital.
He said they had to carry him to the hospital. But I think everybody's gonna see a Julio they haven't seen in a long time. He's in great shape. I don't have to tell you guys. You can look at him and you know he's in
but like Robert said, you know, I need more fights, like 2-3 fights.
And it won't be in one fight where people will see everything I want, you know, I want them to see, or everything that we're working on. It's not, you know, it doesn't happen in 2 months. It's gonna happen in a year from now, or, you know, 4 fights from now. And that's what I want to do. That's the work that I want to do. You know, I've done that before with previous fighters, and we've had very good runs, good turnouts. So I think we got the same thing planned out for Julio.
Would you like to see him take like 2 or 3 fights at this Reyes type of level before he steps up to a bigger fight?
That's what we already talked about, and it'll be. I want 3 or 4 fights.
I see the vamos a ver cómo veo la pelea.
We'll see how this fight turns out.
También dile que con Fanfara, dile que Tumbó a Stevenson, dile que a mí nunca él me hizo daño, dile, cuando él me tumbó, yo me tumbó porque yo ya estaba bien cansado, dile, pero la verdad nunca me afectó con sus golpes, me pegó en el sentido, pero dile que nunca me dañó con sus golpes, a pesar de que él es un 175 grande.
He said he knocked Stevenson down, and even though I fell down, it was because I was really tired. But he's a big 175-pound fighter, but he never really hurt me. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't knocked out.
Never hurt me, never.
And it was more me
after
being
the
tired.
knockdown, you know, I fractured him again, but I'm tired. I don't have nothing for it.
Did he realize in the first round or two the size difference? Because I know Panfara said that when he caught him with a good shot flush, like in one of the early, maybe first or second round, and he realized right away that he wasn't a light heavyweight, just based on how he was able to walk through the shot. And he realized right away that he's probably a lot bigger. You know, his weight probably went up real high by the time they got him.
Really, I don't know. Is that or is like I don't remember, you know, because he had too much. Tenía mucho tiempo fuera del ring. Too much outside the ring, you know. I don't know.
With ring rust?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did he different far feel real heavy, like
because,
bigger?
No, because you know he tried to fight like when a guy he weighed 160, you know, pressure him. But this is no good for me because he's 175, you know.
Yeah.
I don't feel the punches, but I feel my body round to round, less condition, you know.
Yeah. You and Ward had that little Twitter spat. You were making fun of Ward and back and forth. And he was saying, when I saw him last time, that he doesn't think you ever want to fight him. He's just making excuses. But you know, now that you're with Robert and you guys are at the same weight now, could you guys maybe fight next year or down the road?
Que tú y Ward tuvieron un intercambio de mensajes con Andrew Ward. Y Ward ahora está en tu peso. Dice que si tú piensas que algún día lo puedes pelear. He says if the promoters put it together, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You were pretty close to a deal like Gennady Golovkin. Were you upset that Top Rank wouldn't modify the terms of the contract for that fight to happen?
Very upset, very upset. And en ese momento, en el año ese que estuve, hasta pensé en retirarme de los problemas que
He was so upset with the problems he had, he thought about retiring as a result of that.
estaba muy emocionado por esa pelea porque era la pelea que toda la gente quería.
He was real excited about the fight because everybody wanted that fight.
Y todavía tenía un año apenas que estaba inactivo, era el momento de hacer la pelea.
And that was the moment to have the fight because I wasn't inactive for a year.
Y Top Rank me tachó a mí de yo tener miedo, pero ¿cómo iba a tener miedo si me está dando 5 peleas más la de
Top Rank was claiming that he was afraid to take the fight, but it wasn't that. They wanted a 5-fight extension that he wasn't going to take.
Do you have a message for Bob Arum?
Nothing.
Is he almost happier that the call Froch fight didn't happen based on how his body reacted to being off for so long?
Y si estás contento que no se hizo la de Froch al resultado de cómo te sentiste después de la inactividad.
No, because I think Froch is 168, you know. Froch is tough too. It's tough, you know. Es un poco más malo. He's no better boxer than Froch, but he's bigger and I think it's a little stronger, you know.
I think they're two different types of fighters.
Possible. Froch, he had 37 and he's 168, you know. Froch is 27 and he's 175 bigger.
Is there anyone, Robert, that sticks out to you at 68 that you think would be a good style of matching with when he finally gets one or two fights in the books? It's a pretty loaded division.
By then it could be almost a year, so by then we don't even know what could be out there. Right now that's not what I'm looking into. Right now I'm looking into fight by fight, getting him better and getting him to perform and to do what he's been told to do. I'm not looking at who we should fight in the near future, because right now the next 3 or 4 fights are the ones that are important to me.
No, when he first came to the gym, did you lay down? Because I mean, I'm sure you heard all the stories. Did you lay down, the ground rules of, hey, this is how it's going to be? Because you have experience with dealing with fighters who go a little crazy during training camp.
Look, I went to his house and we talked and we agreed to the way sparring should be done, training at a certain time. We agreed to everything. We didn't. I didn't have to wait for him to tell me when. No, we made an agreement to the timing and the sparring and everything else. The whole team. And I think that it was all for his own good. He knows he needs to take the sport seriously, and like I told him, 3 or 4 years of your life, is gonna make a big difference for the future of not only yourself but your family, your kids, wife, everybody. So he's mentally ready for that.
Robert, Julio was just talking about his litigation with Top Rank. Of course, your brother is still going through that. Is he any closer to being done?
Well, you know what we've thought it was that we were getting close to working something out. We already thought about, but Mikey's attorneys are handling that, and they advise Mikey to do this and do that, and Mikey's just following instructions right now. We thought it would be by now. We should already have something said, but it looks like it's not going to happen. Not at this moment, so we're just waiting.
Julio, Sergio Martinez a few days ago announced his retirement. There's some people who believe that he never physically recovered from the injuries that he had in your fight. Do you agree with that belief that he
Yes. After my fight, he's never recovered. Never is the same. Never the same. It's because Martinez got it the title fight because Cotto is smaller guy. Don't give me the rematch, And Top Ram give the fight. Le dio la pelea a Cotto para traerlo a su empresa de él. Y me quitó la revancha a mí de Martínez. Y Martínez nunca me quiso la revancha a mí.
Martinez never wanted to give him the rematch, and they gave Cotto the fight with Martinez so he wouldn't be able to fight Julio, and they could sign him. But he never wanted the rematch with Julio.
Because even before the Cotto fight, he fought Martin Murray, and he looked like he was pretty physically beat up, and he almost lost out.
I mean, how different would your career have been if that was if you knocked him down in the 11th? It looked like he was done.
¿Cómo hubiera sido diferente tu carrera si lo hubieras noqueado en el 11?
No sé cómo hubiera sido, la verdad.
He doesn't know how it would have been.
Fue una pelea muy bonita y muy emocionante y estoy contento.
It was an emotional fight. He liked the fight. He was happy with the fight.
Me gustaba una revancha.
He would like to have had the rematch.
No se pudo.
He couldn't do it, so.
You know what the problem would have been? So I was thinking about it after the fact. If he would have won, if he would have knocked him out in that last round because of the drug test, they would have changed it to no contest or no decision.
Sí, pero de todos modos lo hubieran noqueado.
I would have knocked him out anyways.
But isn't it stupid that they're testing for marijuana? It's not a performance-enhancing drug.
Y aparte, crucify me, me crucificaron, dile.
They crucified him after that because of the test. And the fine was outrageous.
Yo veo que salen por asteroides, por esto y por el otro, y no hacen nada. Yo salí por marihuana y se hizo un escándalo como si hubiera matado a alguien.
The reaction to him testing positive was much worse than other people who've tested positive for more serious drugs. And the reality is that marijuana or any of those substances don't help a fighter. It's not like he's in the ring and he's stronger or he's able to do more because he did something.
Tal vez por eso despertar hasta el round 10.
He said that's why he woke up maybe in the 10th round. That's a joke.
I mean, shouldn't fighters be allowed to do that if they want? I mean, doesn't it help them relax maybe?
Personal opinion?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that marijuana is banned because it doesn't enhance your ability to fight. And I think that in boxing, you want to stop people from having an advantage. That's not an advantage. But that's a different topic.
I think there's been some stuff in the press where I guess Nacho is helping Reyes train for the fight, and Nacho says that he's totally familiar with Julio, and this is going to be his last fight. He's not going to want to fight after Reyes gets done with him. Are you and Reyes familiar with each other at all?
Dice que Nacho ha estado diciendo que él te conoce muy bien y que después de que acabe Reyes contigo va a ser tu última pelea.
Dile que Nacho no conoce, ni siquiera me ha visto, lo he visto una vez en la vida.
He said, I've seen Nacho one time in my life.
El único que va a decir es, si pierde la decisión, así que le robaron la pelea con Sergio Márquez.
If he says if he loses the decision, he's going to say they stole the fight like he always says.
Do him and Reyes, have they ever been around each other back in Mexico?
Tú y Reyes han estado juntos en México.
No lo conozco, nomás le gané a su colega, Manuel Rubio.
He says, I don't know him, I just beat one of his colleagues, Rubio.